Hi, my name is Stephan. I'm CEO of the Starfleet Detailing franchise. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to answer some questions that a lot of you may have in regards to our franchise. So the first one is in regards to our business operations. And the question is, can you walk me through the day-to-day operations of a typical Starfleet Detailing franchise? Well, that's not too complicated. As a franchisee, you would start your day out basically by looking at your schedule for the day, and you have all that on our app. So we have an app that helps you organize your business, helps you schedule yourself for the work days, tells you where your job is, who your customer is, what's involved. And of course, you make your own schedule. So you already know what you're putting in there. It's not like somebody else is doing it for you, which could throw you off sometimes, but you're in charge of your own schedule, your own destiny, so to speak. And then once you look into your schedule for the day, then you go to your garage and where your van is, and then you start getting yourself ready for the work day. Make sure you have all the chemicals and the rags. Your equipment is all ready to go as well. You bring water with you, and then you head out toward the job. And of course, your PPE for the day is standard. You have your shirts that are safety, visibility. So they're safety shirts. They have the high vis, the colors, the reflectors. You have your steel toe boots, your gloves, your goggles, and so you're all ready to go. And then you head out to your job site. During the day, you'll be getting calls as a franchisee from different customers, or you might be getting text messages. They'll be coming on your app as well. And then as soon as you get those, you can schedule for the next day. So it's not something that takes a lot of time because it's more commercial. It's not like you're doing residential, which during the peak season, you have constant calls coming in, people asking for pricing. It takes a lot of time. But because it's commercial, you have repeat customers all the time. And once in a while, you'll have an inquiry on pricing. So it's really manageable. You're not going to be going crazy with bombardment of calls coming in during the high season. It's actually, we don't really have a high season because it's commercial. There's a little bit of a peak, I would say, in March, April, May. And then the months fluctuate depending on who your customer is. If it's a construction company, for example, then they're busy in the summer, so they're not going to call you. And if it's a transportation company, like a semi-truck hauling cargo across the country, they're usually busier in the wintertime and the summer. And then there's a couple of slower downturns, which would be the fall and the spring. So, but because you're doing such an array of customers, it's really manageable. So what are the key services that set Starfleet Detailing apart from other detailing businesses? What sets us apart primarily is that we're commercial. We have repeat business. We go to multi-million-dollar businesses that are usually national. So it's a very different clientele than your residential customer. Your residential customer, it's once a year. If you're in the northern part of the country, if you're down in Toronto, it might be 3/4 of the year. But commercial is different because you're going to companies and they have bays to work out of. So you can go and detail any time of the year. And usually they detail their vehicles on the downtime. So when they come in after the season, then the mechanics do their job, change the oil, check the brakes, do the maintenance, call us up, and we go in and detail. So that's really the big difference. And it is a big difference because you have your work all year. You know what to expect. You develop a rapport with the different shop managers. So it's a lot nicer I think it's way nicer than working residential where you're just going through customers like crazy, and a very different style for sure. How do you ensure quality and consistency across all your franchise locations? Well, we all go through training. And so by being trained by us, there is going to be a certain standard that you have to meet. And most franchisees, if not all, will have some detailing experience. So what we're going to do is we're just going to up your game. We're going to teach you how to do more difficult cleans, which could be because of, it could be contamination, smoke remediation, could be just odors that they want to try to get out of. There's a lot of different things, and that's why they value us. So it's not just regular details, but there are specialty cases, and that's fun because it's challenging. It's not always the same thing. I think a lot of people get bored, especially the newer generation, and get bored more easily. So it's nice to get that challenge once in a while at work. So what inspired the business model behind Starfleet Detailing, particularly the emphasis on mobile and home-based services? Well, what inspired the business model? So we have been mobile for quite a long time, and we also have a shop. But what made us come up with the business model, I think there's a few things. First of all, COVID really changed the market for us, because a lot of people, first of all, didn't drive during COVID, but they also got used to having food brought to them. A lot of delivery services popped up, like Uber, Eats, and what the other two are. I think there's two other companies. I haven't ever used any, but because people are getting used to getting things delivered to their house, it was a nice transition from mobile work. So you go to people's homes. And it also helped a lot with commercial, because now the business is also like for things to be delivered, services to come to them. And it just was a nice fit. So we decided by franchising and changing the business model, we could also get rid of a lot of overhead. So we can get rid of the shop, which is a big chunk of money. Most places would be $1,500 a month and up, depending on the size. And so if you add the insurance as well, and you also add the utilities, you're basically giving away a big chunk of your profits. So we decided, by eliminating that, keeping all the equipment, the van, everything at your home, then of course you spend less time away from home, shorter days and bigger profits. So I think everybody likes that. So what are the expected returns to franchisees? Well, that's a very good question. There's a lot of different factors coming into place, but we know what the basics are. It's 14% for royalties, marketing, and ad costs. And then after that, it'll be on how you purchase the franchise and your van. I would factor probably around 20 to 25% will be your cost of doing business, which leaves you 75%. So let's say you're doing $100 an hour, then you'd be left with $75 an hour. Let's say you're doing $75 an hour, you'd be left with around 62, I think. So it all depends on those factors, but all said and done, you'd be making 2 to 3 times what you would make on your own. So it's very, very profitable. So our next question is, can you explain the training and support systems in place for new franchisees? So once you've purchased a franchise, then we start right away in setting you up. So we have to help you buy a van, get the decals all done for the van, and buy all your equipment, and get your shirts. We have branded shirts, get all your marketing material. And then once that's done, then we do your training. So your training involves how to work the software. It's not very complicated. It's quite user-friendly, but nonetheless, we teach you all that. And then we do your hands-on when it comes to training to do all the extra types of detailing. So smoke remediation and mice remediation, heavily soiled vans, equipment that you're trying to detail. And so as we do that, then we train you to be able to tackle anything. Once we're ready to go to the next stage, we bring you on site on different job sites. And so there you would see basically from the beginning to end how you come into the lot, how you approach each job, how to take out all your equipment, how to set up inside the shop. So there's a few things that we teach you, but because it's hands-on and those that purchase have experience, it's not like starting from scratch. We don't like selling franchisees to people who have zero experience. It's not very wise. You don't know what you're getting into. So if you have experience detailing, then we are confident that we can up your game so that you come to the level that we expect from all franchisees. Our next question asks about the benefits for franchisees. What are the primary benefits of owning a Starfleet detailing franchise compared to starting an independent detailing business? Other than the upfront cost, the advantages are 100% towards franchises versus starting on your own. When you start on your own, you have very limited knowledge, maybe of doing the actual work. You might not even know if you like the work. You also don't have the experience on how to run a business, how to market yourself, how to manage your time, how to schedule, invoice, how to get your best deal for your products, how to design your branding, how to brand. I mean, it's just endless, the things that you have to do. So we all do that for you. You do your investment, and then from there on, as soon as your training is done, you're making money. So it's not too complicated. It's not like we have specialty equipment that you can't find anywhere, and then we have to train you, and it's difficult. None of that. It's quite straightforward, because what we do for you is basically we hand you over a business, and all I have to do is run the business. So it's quite beneficial. I would recommend, I think, in any business, buying a franchise versus starting from scratch. When you start from scratch, there's so much time lost trying to learn the business and then how to learn marketing, and like you're trying to learn 5 different types of jobs, at once. But yet, for the amount of time you have to dedicate to learning each of those trades, the time you actually end up doing it is so limited that it just overshadows all the time you've wasted. We do all that for you so that you just learn the essentials. And as you grow and as you get familiar with it, then you expand your knowledge base. We require you to join the IDA, which is International Detailers Association. And there we have a library of information for you that you can expand your knowledge base. And so it's quite well designed so that you can never feel that you're basically stranded on your own. You'll never feel that way. How does the brand reputation of Starfleet Detailing contribute to a franchisee's success? Branding is everything. So let's say you're going to a new town, you've never been there, and you're looking for a place to eat. What are you going to look for? You look for something that you've never really heard of, that kind of looks like you're wondering if you're going to get sick from eating there. Or do you look for a reputable place? Yeah, that's what you do. You go to a reputable restaurant, you know that there's standards that are being observed in the cooking and the food preparation and all that, right? So once you have that confidence, well, then guess what? You go there and you enjoy a good meal. It's the same thing with detailing. If somebody's looking up for a detailer and they see all these names that mean nothing, and there's really, it's just about pricing. No, when it comes to commercial detailing, it's not about pricing. It's about safety primarily, and it's about doing a good job, and it's about being reliable. I mean, pricing is really the last thing, right? So it's very important for the brand. The brand is really what gives that trust that companies need, and basically people in general need. Whenever you're doing an interaction with business, trust is always the number one factor. Branding gives trust. And of course, when they go on Google and they see the ratings, that of course contributes to it. But you know that if you're buying a phone, and it's, let's say, an Apple brand, well, you know it's reputed, it's got a good reputation. There's a warranty that you can fall onto if need be, if it breaks down. All those things come as a package. So branding is crucial for any business. So what kind of ongoing support do franchisees receive, especially in marketing and operations? When it comes to marketing and operations, marketing is so important today, but it is so complicated. If you want to market yourself, which most detailers do, you'll fail. You'll fail unless you went into university or college and studied marketing. And then it's so ever changing that it's hard to keep up. It's a full-time job just doing marketing. So we already have a marketing department, and they're going to do what's necessary to help you grow as a business and have work come in. So you don't have to worry about that part. And as far as operations, well, of course, you get your operations manual, and you can always fall back on that. We also have our website where you can go and buy your products, and we have the IDA to fall back on something if you have a question that we can't answer, which I doubt. We have come across pretty well every problem you can encounter. So we know how to deal with everything, but it's still there. So you covered 150%. Right. So don't be afraid of a franchise. A franchise is your best bet. If you like detailing, this is your best bet. We're the only commercial detailing franchise in Canada, and we specialize in this. We work with national companies, and so you're in good hands. So if you're ready to join the Starfleet franchise, then let us know, and we'll be glad to work with you.